Know thyself is the first of 3 maxims that were inscribed on the Temple of Apollo in Delphi. Visitors in ancient Greece were encouraged to reflect upon these maxims before they inquire the oracle of the temple. Both Socrates and Plato employed this phrase extensively in an attempt to declare that an unexamined life is not worth living. The forgotten maxims which follow know thyself were nothing to excess and certainty brings insanity. There's actually no one-size-fits-all measurement for authenticity. An extensive procession of philosophers has attempted to interpret the idea of self-knowledge, sincerity, authenticity, and the likes in their own way over the centuries. Even though a unified definition seems out of reach, existentialists treat authenticity as a primary virtue in the process of becoming whole. Just as Socrates and Plato emphasize the importance of dwelling within, existential authenticity encourages one to explore one's self and the relationship between one's inner world and the exterior world. Let's take a look at some modern interpretations of the understanding of authenticity. The German philosopher Martin Heidegger famously defined authenticity as one's awareness of mortality. Authenticity is an ongoing work in progress that is realized through our acceptance of death, and that one seizes the conditions of our own existence with integrity and intense clear-sightedness. Wholeness is found in composing our own autobiography through our intentional behavior over the course of our lifetime. Another existentialist, Jean-Paul Sartre, defines authenticity through means of describing examples of inauthenticity, since authenticity is often an abstract concept that is indescribable due to the limits of language. And hence he stated, "If you seek authenticity for authenticity's sake, you are no longer authentic." He also believed that authenticity is dynamic as one continually defines one's self, and that one had no enduring essence or inner nature. According to Sartre, authenticity requires being fully accountable for our own life and behavior. Albert Camus, on the other hand, reasons that we are free to create our own meaning because life is absurd, unreasonable, and without any intrinsic meaning. Rather than giving up due to a lack of inherent meaning of existence, one should openly embrace this absurdity by directing all of our effort to doing the task at hand, being defiant by not letting this absurdity rule over our lives. Camus compares absurdity with the efforts of a character in Greek mythology named Sisyphus, who was condemned by the gods to endlessly push a boulder up a mountain, only to watch the boulder roll back down again and again. Authenticity is not necessarily a form of anti-conformity. According to Eric Fromm, a sociopsychologist, an authentic person may behave consistently with cultural norms if one is behaving from the place of an enlightened view, a deep understanding of the relationship between the drives of the self and one's external world. Rather than reject norms out of a negative drive to escape societal expectations and restraints, the sociopsychologist suggests that the authentic person harmoniously does what they do that aligns with their deeper inclinations. To know thyself requires an inwardly analytical process, a process in which we continuously reflect and examine ourselves, to know our patterns of strengths and limits, likes and dislikes, and the fluctuations of our internal states. Examining our own sense of identity helps us in the understanding of different societal roles. Similar to the suggestions by Fromm, this understanding allows us to play these roles to the best of our abilities without being rigidly defined by such roles, or becoming obsessed with the performance and commitment of our identity. Our mental states and preferences change over time. Once we convincingly define what authenticity is, we could easily slip into a state of grasping on to that image tightly, not allowing wiggle room for our identity to flex along with the dynamics of life. Our preferences and values develop since everything is in a constant state of transformation. Any rigid identification could become a type of prison to authenticity. Therefore, authenticity is not about concretely defining our identity. Knowing thyself, from this perspective, means that we understand our mental fluctuations and the relation of our identity to the greater world. It is impossible to know thyself without being thyself. For the ones who truly know themselves would naturally be themselves without conscious effort of having to define one's identity with how one ought to be. We are often at our most authentic when our actions align with our values and beliefs. Know thyself is by no means only a personal ideal. It is not a false sense of virtue that is self-centered. Being able to turn inward and connect to glimpses of our true self, we are simultaneously engaging in a deeper commitment with the society. Freedom equals absolute responsibility. Being accountable for shaping one's own values and taking action in accordance with one's virtuous beliefs can be extremely unpleasant. Laziness compels people to slip into the inauthentic mode of being. An inauthentic mode of being does not require self-reflection or self-scrutiny. It only requires doing what is expected without inquiry. Whatever our philosophical stance on authenticity might be, one thing for certain is that our time here is limited, and thus it is ultimately up to us to choose how we want to live our life. We may be able to maximize our time here if we live consciously by understanding and accepting our inclinations and experiences. The process of uncovering our intent and purpose gives meaning to an otherwise unexamined life. Knowing oneself does not influence our trajectory if we do not be it, and thus habitual action is crucial to defining authenticity throughout our lives. Authenticity is rather a spontaneous flow of aware actions while owning up to what one may be. No amount of exterior inquiries can uncover the answer for us if we cannot even begin to familiarize ourselves with the crucial facts of our own lives. As quoted from Jean-Paul Sartre, authenticity, it is almost needless to say, consists in having a true and lucid consciousness of the situation, in assuming the responsibilities and risks it involves, in accepting it, sometimes in horror and hate. Thank you for listening.